I want to play a piece that Clinton did at the thing. I don't know if I'll get to all of them, but here is the one that I want to point out that's important about how good the job system is under Democrats. Check this out.
You're going to have a hard time believing this, but so help me, I triple checked it. Since the end of the Cold War in 1989, America has created about 51 million new jobs. I swear I checked this 3 times. Even I couldn't believe it. What's the score? Democrats 50, Republicans 1.
If you heard that line from President Clinton last night, odds are you did the same thing I did. You Googled it to see if he was right. And he was. The difference is striking. And even more so if you go back even further to the end of World War II, for example. 14 presidents, 7 from each party, the total 88 million jobs added under Democrats and 32 million under Republicans. Joining us now, the nation's national affairs correspondent, John Nichols. So, John, Republicans are the ones that get credit for the economy. How do you explain that when you see that jobs number divide?
Well, I suspect it comes down to the basic reality that Democrats don't always message as well as they should. That's one of the reasons why Bill Clinton shows up at every convention. This is now, I can't even count the numbers, right? Like 14 or so or something. But he shows up at every convention, and he's the stats guy. He does this.
Divide we're seeing. You're talking about it being a messaging issue for the Democrats. Do you see that messaging? Do you see that messaging changing? Is this version of the Democratic Party, have we seen enough of it to anticipate that they're going to have a better handle on it going into the future?
Sure. I think there's a couple things we've seen at this convention. For one thing, they've embraced the word union. They haven't been uncomfortable with it. And truthfully, not that many decades back or even years back, Democrats were a little bit more cautious about going all in for their union base. Not at this convention. Union members, union leaders have been front and center.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, but look at what I have on page 43. This is the jobs per president linked out. It's a little plug for my book. See this book here? As I see it, Class Warfare, the only resort to right-wing doom. You can get it at politicsdoneright.com/books, politicsdoneright.com/books, or you can subscribe to my newsletter, politicsdoneright.com/newsletter, and you get to read all of my books free of charge. The only Republican president of substance that had a large amount of employees was a guy named Ronald Reagan. And again, we all understand what Ronald Reagan did. Ronald Reagan spoke like he was a conservative, but he cut taxes, increased the deficit, increased military spending, and all of that. And guess what kind of economics that's called? Keynesian economics, okay? Which is what we've always said, that Keynesian economics increase jobs. So let me repeat these numbers for you. George Bush only got 3 million jobs. Bill Clinton is still to date the president that has garnered the most jobs, bar none. How many jobs was that? 23.1 million jobs under Clinton. George Bush, number 2, only 2.5 million jobs. Ronald Reagan, 16 million jobs. In other words, Clinton got, in the same amount of time, Clinton got 7 million more jobs than Reagan. Now, Jimmy Carter got 10.5 million jobs in one term. That is better than Obama. That's better than Ronald Reagan, because that would, if you were to extrapolate that, you would get about 20 million jobs for Carter. So again, Democratic policies always give you better jobs, better income, better stock market, everything, better GDP. You can look it up and see that it's almost 2 points or more over that Democrats do over Republicans. And it's consistent. It's always been this way. The Democratic policies are always better for the economy than Republican policies. But as the host said there, Democrats are terrible at marketing all their good deeds. Look at Lyndon Johnson, 11.9 million. John F. Kennedy wasn't good. Harry Truman, 8.4 million. So as it turns out, the numbers are here, folks. Here are the job numbers in my book, As I See It, Class Warfare, the Only Resort to Right-Wing Doom. There's the back of the book and all the issues. Everybody should get this book. You'd learn some economics, and I don't only talk about what happened. I explain why it is that Democrats are always better in the economy than Republicans. You know this book, you can argue the case. Of course, this book as well does it. How to Make America Utopia, right? But look, remember that reality. Republicans are terrible at creating jobs. But when they've tried to mimic Keynesian economic policies run by Democrats, they do well. And the only president that has done that on steroids was Ronald Reagan, and he got 16 million jobs out of it. So it's important that people understand these basic concepts.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel. And number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.